George looked at them both strangely. Math homework? We had math homework? You didn't do it? Katie asked. George turned red in the face. I guess I forgot. Oh, man, Jeremy moaned. This stinks. Why? Katie asked him. George forgot his homework, not you. I know, Jeremy agreed. But George, you were supposed to be in the Foursquare Championship at recess. You're the best Foursquare player in our whole class. George smiled. I'm the king. I'm going to destroy the kids in 3B. Jeremy shook his head. No, you're not. You're not even going to be there. You know the rule. If you forget your homework, you have to do it at recess. George didn't look so happy anymore. Mrs. Dirkman has too many rules, he moaned as he got into line. Chapter 2. Katie walked into the classroom and hung her jacket on the third hook from the left. Then she placed her homework in the bin on Mrs. Dirkman's desk. Finally, she sat down at her desk and began to copy the spelling words on the board. Katie did the same thing every morning. Mrs. Dirkman had very strict rules about how you behaved in her classroom. George sniffed at the air as he put away his coat. Ooh, do you have tuna fish again, Manny, or did you just forget to shower? A few kids chuckled. Mrs. Dirkman did not. If you have a question, George, please raise your hand, she said. George sat down quietly and pulled out his notebook. Just then, a small piece of paper landed on Katie's desk. It was a note from Suzanne. Katie read the note and scribbled an answer. Kevin, pass this to Suzanne, Katie whispered as she folded the paper. Kevin sat between Katie and Suzanne. No way, he whispered back. I'm not getting in trouble. Katie frowned, but she understood. Mrs. Dirkman didn't like kids passing notes in class. It wasn't Kevin's note. Why should he risk it? Katie waited until Mrs. Dirkman was looking the other way. Then she tossed the note to Suzanne. Katie almost hoped Suzanne wouldn't write back. If Mrs. Dirkman caught the girls writing notes, she was sure to do something mean. Something absolutely horrible. Something... Suzanne, give me that note, Mrs. Dirkman ordered. Oh no, Mrs. Dirkman had seen them. Suzanne looked at Katie and bit her lip. She didn't move. It looked like she was frozen. Suzanne, you heard me. Mrs. Dirkman held out her hand. Suzanne stood up. She walked slowly toward the front of the room. All the kids were staring. All except Katie. She couldn't even look at her. Thank you, Mrs. Dirkman said when Suzanne handed her the note. Please go back to your seat. Katie breathed a sigh of relief. That wasn't so bad. But Mrs. Dirkman wasn't finished. She opened the note and began to read it out loud. My mother bought me these horrible pink flowery underpants. They're for babies. Mrs. Dirkman read Suzanne's words. Suzanne buried her head in her arms. Do you have to wear them? Mrs. Dirkman continued, reading Katie's part of the note. I'm wearing them right now, Mrs. Dirkman said, as she read what Suzanne had just written. The teacher looked at Suzanne and Katie. I don't think that was so important that it couldn't wait until lunch. Do you, girls? At first, no one in the class said anything. Then a few of the boys started to giggle. Soon everyone was laughing really hard. Pink flower underpants, Manny Gonzalez howled. Real stylin', Suzanne. I see England, I see France, I see Suzanne's flower underpants, George began to chant. Suzanne looked like she was about to cry. I wish I could hide under a big rock, she moaned quietly. Katie looked up at the ceiling. What if a giant rock really did come falling down? What if it landed right on Suzanne's head? But no rock fell from the sky. In fact, nothing happened at all. Katie breathed a sigh of relief. Suzanne had been lucky. Her wish hadn't come true.